It says it's recording, so we're going to begin. Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop, and today you're joining us on the Mic Council. The Mic Council is our red table talk. It's our view. It's our outlet to talk about things that affect the hip hop community without the beats and the rhymes, with intellect. And I have intelligent black men on right now that want to talk to you about what's going on in the climate in the country. Please introduce yourself. We're going to start with the firefighter. Go ahead with, tell everybody who you are.
Jarnel Williams, aka Simp. Used to be rapping back in the day. Now I'm just doing the thing, trying to take care of my family, but I still stay down with the movement. And I'm gonna let y'all pass it on to the next person.
All right. Let's pick up.
That's me. It's me. It's your boy Nasif, man, out of Newark, New Jersey. Work at Northern State Prison, been a correctional officer for 20 years now, man. So, I can kind of give you the ins and outs of what's supposed to go down, what's not supposed to go down with certain things. I ain't a street cop, so I can't give you the ins and outs on that, but I can give you certain things when it comes to, like, state law. You know what I mean?
And last but not least, the mayor of New Jersey.
That's right, it's grumpy old man, the mayor, Hip Hop New Jersey, and also station manager, A Squad Rubber Radio. And I'm always in the streets, and I'm the Phil Jackson in hip hop. Facts.
Salute to everybody that's watching, that's going to watch this, and everybody that's on. So today, as of May 31st, 2021, America is in a crisis. Since December of 2019 till, like I said, today, police brutality and death has taken over the news. As the #1 story in America, we have people that are dying left and right, be it towards murder hornets, corona, and now police brutalizing our community. How has this hit you? Have you been personally affected by these instances that's going on in our society?
Well, I start off being doing EMS in my particular fire department in Hillside. We got to see firsthand the coronavirus, and being in Beth Israel is like 2 minutes away. We've been frequenting that hospital, and the apex of the pandemic per se, it was rough. It was rough. It was mentally and physically stressing because you're not used to certain things where you got to actually put your hands on in a different manner. Like, I don't know if people seen the news, or we had to start putting on Tyvek suits for every call in a mask, which threw everything off, and like slow down the EMS. Like, people couldn't do the same levels of care that they was doing prior to this. It took some getting used to. And when it comes down to this police brutality, like, sometimes you got to confront some of these cops, let them know what they going over the line.
This has affected me since the 70s. It's been going on. It's never been this crazy as murder on camera though. Like, we in a whole new wave of assassination. This is ridiculous. And the aggressiveness of today's officers who are supposed to serve and protect, but now they kill and destroy. That's a whole nother badge. So this affects me tremendously.
Yeah, and listen, I've lost two comrades so far, man, and it's the same thing. You got to go in with the PPE. I'm basically right there, ground zero. I'm around it every day, so I don't know how deep I could talk about it, but I can tell you that it's real. It's real for those for people that think it's not real. It's really real, man. Because I know people that just lost, that lost like family members like back to back. People that lost friends back to back. I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah.
We got a new guest on. Introduce yourself to everybody.
What's going on, y'all? This is All Mental Against the Grain show on 8 Squad Rebel Radio. What up, Grump? What up,
What up?
Karev?
What
How
up?
y'all doing?
All right.
It's great to see that. I'm glad to see that you're alive and that you're well and everything is okay.
Hmm.
I miss you, Grump. I ain't seen you in a minute now because, with COVID-19, but we're going to get back stronger than ever and we're going to be okay.
No doubt.
But yes, I have to tell you, these things that are going on are scary. This whole thing with George Floyd and just beating the man and just stomping on his neck. And what the sad part was that they saw the man getting beaten and somebody filmed it writing up. And that's when I say cool, okay, we got it on video, but no one did anything. No one tried to stop it.
Nothing.
No, I agree.
Like, no one tried to stop it. And this is getting scary. And then people want to talk about why we're rioting and looting. And they want to say that black people are savages. But no, number one, in these riots that were going on, it wasn't only black folks rioting. You had whites, Hispanics, Asians, Indians, all races, colors, creeds, and nationalities. Number two, I don't blame the people for getting mad and getting angry because it's like enough is enough and we can't take this no more. It's like, what do you expect? We tried to be peacefully. There was a problem when Kaepernick kneeled. Now, so.
I'm with you on that.
We have another guest on. Please introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? God bless. First and foremost, my name is Bookem. I'm a law enforcement officer, Sheriff's Department, right here in Jersey. So I'm late in what you guys are talking about, but I already got a gist of where the vibe is at. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for having me here today. It's very important that we come together as human beings and go over these very important topics for both sides, and I'm not here as a super advocate for law enforcement. I'm here as a person, and I just want to talk about it from my perspective, being on the law enforcement side for 14 years and also being a minority. I could understand both sides of the spectrum.
Gotcha.
So I thank you guys for having me, man. It really means a lot to me to be given this opportunity.
Got you. Well,
All right,
Mr.
we have another person who joined in. Please introduce yourself. Yeah, Diamond.
You might have to unmute his mic.
Yeah.
He's not muted. You gotta push it. All right, we'll pick up. We'll pick up when he come in. Diamond, you in? You in?
He's talking, but his
Mr.
mic
Bookem still there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
Anybody here?
All right, I'm gonna text him.
I can't hear him.
Yeah,
I can't hear him neither.
He didn't put his sound on yet. So as we continue on, let's follow the protocol of what's going on. So Zoom just sent me the message that we have longer than 40 minutes. So if y'all really want to go in, we have the opportunity to really go in today. So this is what we're going to start with. We have a police officer on and a corrections officer on. And I don't want to start with the typical conversation of racism and white, black, and things like that. I want to talk about what is the training that you get when it comes to handling civilians and anything that you have to do with confronting a civilian about anything. What is your training?
You want to start it off, brother? Where's my brother in blue at?
That's me right here. I'm in the jail. I'm in the jail, so I think that probably.
You got the hardest job in law enforcement, brother.
Yeah.
I always said, you can start off.
All right, so you want to go like as far as a situation where they had my man prone already?
No, I mean.
What training? What type of training do we receive? Right. I guess to deal with the public in situations like this that we see happen in Minnesota.
I know for one thing, you ain't supposed to be putting your knee in nobody's neck. that's damn sure. I mean, you once you get them prone, like say you got a hostile subject. Once you get them prone, if he's being combative, all right, you got the extra people there. All right, they holding his legs down. somebody securing his hands. Once you secure his hands, you get him straight up because you have what you call positional asphyxiation, which means like when you on your stomach like that, like most of your weight is on your lungs. You can't, and it's harder for you to breathe. And if you got that extra weight on you, you really can't breathe. So I don't care if you able to yell, I can't breathe. All right, that's air going out, but you can't get enough to coming back in. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's up to you to get them off the ground as soon as possible so they're able to breathe. And once you got them secure, I guess as far as the street cops go, you put them in the vehicle and take them to where you got to go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's,
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm big. We taught, brother, and I know you went to the academy as well, and we taught, one of the first things we taught verbal judo. Verbal judo is very important. That's what they call it in law enforcement terms.
Right.
It's a way to communicate with people, and use communication is your most important tool, not the ones on your belt. Your mouthpiece is the most important tool that you have in law enforcement. So in the case of Mr. George Floyd, I just want to say that there was never a need for use of force. There was never a need, from what I saw from the videos that are clear-cut videos from that restaurant. There was never a need for any use of force. In fact, there should have been a point when his cuffs were placed on too tight. It's happened to me. Place somebody in custody, and their cuffs are too tight. There's been times where I loosen the cuffs just to make them comfortable. So you can see Mr. George Floyd's agony at the inception of the arrest, where he's already in agony, and there was no resistance at all. So that bothered me right there. I think that set the tone for what type of police officers these dudes were. You get what I'm saying? Jumping out of the car, big black man. I guess, forgive me if I'm wrong, but this gentleman was about 6'5", big dude. But at no point, his family even identified him as a gentle giant. They even identified him as a gentle giant, right? So I'm assuming they saw his stature, they got scared.
Right
there pisses me off, because it's like, if you're scared of a large black man, you get what I'm saying, or anybody that just their appearance alone, you're in the wrong profession, brother. And you were working in the jail, my brother, you understand that you work with all types of people, all different shapes and sizes. It'd be the smallest dude. It'd be the smallest dude on the tier that'd be the most dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go to appearance. So that bothered me. So there was never a use of force element. We follow the Attorney General guidelines, right? And there's different prongs to you. We got different levels of force, right? We got mechanical, we got constructive, we got lethal, right? And I just felt that there was never a need for any physical force. You feel what I'm saying? He was cuffed. Sit the brother down on the hood of the car, talk to him, read him his rights, follow the protocol, whatever it is in Minnesota, put him in the back of the car. Now, granted, some people are, this is another topic I told somebody, I said, some people are claustrophobic. He's 6'5", you put him in the back of a tight-ass unit. Of course, I'm going to be a little like, I'm claustrophobic. We don't even know if that's what happened, but that could have happened, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now, he's claustrophobic. All right, this is what you do. I've had that happen. A dude says, yo, listen, bro, I'm claustrophobic. Boom, yo, I got you. We're going to call for another unit, and we're going to get a truck here that got a bigger bed in the back where we can sit you in the back. And get you. What does it cost me to call somebody and do that for somebody that's not being combative? You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying? So I'm sorry I'm talking too much, but these are just some things that bothered me. And these are just some things that this is what happens when you hire punks and you put badges on them, and people that don't understand the culture of the people that they're serving, and they don't they perceive everything as a threat. Just a simple freaking look, just for somebody, he's a big brother, and you scared I gotta do this, I gotta act a certain way, because if not, he's gonna try to hook off on me.
Word is-
He said a mouthful. He said a mouthful when he said the big black man, and like that, throughout history, that's been the whole perception. He's a scary big black man. He's gonna hurt me. He's gonna hurt me. And I appreciate you bringing that up. Coming from your perspective, that's dope. Like a lot of people don't want to mention that a lot of people in certain professions look at somebody dark skinned, over 6'2", over 230 pounds as a threat. And you got a lot of gentle giants that get wrongly attacked just because of the perception.
Right, that's facts.
And that's the whole, I think a lot of it has to do with many people, they're joining a profession where, and this is my thing that gets me, a lot of times officers, and this goes beyond race, color, creed, or religion, you're taking a job in which you know you're dealing with all types of people, and the first thing they come to say is that, well, it was a threat. I was scared for my life. And why would you take that job if you were scared for your life? Don't get into this if you know this is what you go through on a regular basis. Don't get involved in that profession. Like myself, an example, I got a fear of dogs. I had a chance to become a social worker. What the hell? No, or real talk. What the hell? I got to go to people's houses and they might have a dog. Why am I going to take that job? You understand what I'm saying?
You want to laugh? I'm going to give you another chuckle. I'm a firefighter. I'm scared of heights. So you want to laugh? But I got to face what I got to face. Hey, everybody got their little thing. You got
exactly.
I signed up for it, so I do what I got to do.
But you can't be that scared if you knew that you know the job. So you can't be that scared. Whereas I had the chance to be a social worker. I said, nah. But I got to go inside these people. What if they got like Rottweilers and pit bulls? I'm already scared of dogs. Why would I take that? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Black Diamond, what up?
Yo.
Diamond, what up?
I finally figured it out.
I can't lie, Mr. Black Diamond. I never met you before, but I could have swore it was too short, bro. I thought it was too short on the.
Too short. I get that.
Too short a little bit. God bless you, bro. God bless you, man.
Yeah, I get Scarface sometimes too, man.
God bless you. God bless you, brother.
What's going on, my brothers?
God bless you, man.
So right now, what we're talking about is the treatment of the people by the people who are put in to serve and protect. But I wanted to give some historical context to this conversation so we understand what exactly it is that not only we go through, but the mind state of those who are in power. Now, let me go make this brief. In the 1600s, there was a big slave rebellion called the Bacon's Rebellion. In the Bacon's Rebellion, white slaves and black slaves were together and they fought against the people who owned the land. So the people who were rich said, how do we separate them so that we can keep power and we can not get so many people against us? So just like today, you have the elite versus the people. And the way they did this was in law. In 1628, they wrote the word white into the law because in American history, there was only two colors.
Right.
They weren't even colors. It was designations, rich and poor. There was no white and black in the law. So what they did was they made a law so people of color and Caucasians could not mix or marry or intermingle. So after that law was put into effect, you had the indentured servants be able to buy themselves out of servitude and marry into the elite's families. We're going to go about 100, 200 years later when we start getting a lot of immigration into the country. America's history talks about if you are a white person, a Catholic, you were the head of American society. Then we had people called WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. When the Italians came over, they were called Guineas and Dagos. When the Polish came over, they were called Polacks and Polskis. You know what I'm saying? Every foreign white person had a designation. And it wasn't until that law got revisited that people were given certain economical benefits to keep the people or the minority, because I don't like that word, the minority down. So as you notice, the Italians got the ports, the Irish got the police force, Russian, and firefighters, like everybody got a designation, but the people of color were always held down. Now, when you get that us versus them mentality, and then you could join the them and you could forget about the us, that's when those designations come. And in the 1800s, there was a famous demonstration in the Bowery of New York. You can look up the Bowery to see what it is. Those demonstrations, they would find people of color, lynch them, and drag them down the street to show the dominance of the ethnic groups that came into prominence in the country. How that goes into today is from Jim Crow and letting people come in with prejudices, the government has become a mainstay of not only racism, but economic classism. We have in our society right now, through what I just told you, the designation of white in the law, and through Project Paperclip, which allowed German nationals to come to America and then take over. Sorry for the little boys, they bugging out. But they designated themselves as heads of NASA, the Pentagon, FBI, CIA, IRS, and even the formation of COINTELPRO took on Nazi national terroristic characteristics, which trickled itself down into the law. So for anybody here that works in the law, I respect you, because you are the real minority, because people of color could not become police officers, aka slave catchers, until, like I said, very recently into America now. So when we look at the George Floyds, when we look at the Ahmaud Arbery's, when we look at the Tamir Rice's, the Trayvon Martins, we can't forget the women either. Sandra Bland, Etiana Jefferson, and the young lady, Breonna Taylor, who just was murdered the same way. There is a disconnect within our society when it comes to policing, serving, protecting, and safety. How do y'all want to pick up on that one?
Well, I tell you what a disconnect is. The disconnect went out the window when communication between what they call us civilians and the officers. Long time ago, way back in the day, the police used to talk to everybody in the neighborhood.
Yep.
The beat walkers used to speak, kick it with the neighbors. So we knew who they were, they knew who we was. None of that happens, right? Instead, the aggression has got so crazy and out of hand that even little kids fear the badge. That's not, and it's not on all officers, so I can't blame the officers. It's on everyone. It's on them, us. We got to take the time to get the communication back. If there's no communication and nothing but aggression, then that means aggression means aggression, period.
And to piggyback off of what Grump just said, that, for instance, in New York City, they have the Police Athletic League, which was founded in like the 60s and 70s, and their claim to fame was boxing. And the Police Athletic League used to be very active in the community. And they used to have football coaches with cops, basketball coaches, baseball coaches. The Police Athletic League, the cops aren't even involved in that no more. What I'm saying is that, to piggyback off of what Grump is saying, is that they used to be in the community, you used to talk to the cops were cool with you. Now, as he said, many people are scared of the cops. God forbid we see one coming, we want to cross the street because it's gotten so bad. God forbid we don't know if this our friend, how are they going to be? How are they going to react? And I think it has to do with communication, and that too has to change. And this goes beyond.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry to cut you off. Hold on, baby. I gotta disagree with one thing you said. You see, you made a statement. You made a visual statement of seeing a cop walking across the street. I think the sentiment is a little bit different because I'm on patrol and I've seen the vibe and the tension grow as to where people kind of grill us a little more and give us more of an attitude and more of a rebellious feel. And I understand why though. I'm not stupid, or I know why. You know what I'm saying? Some people may feel the way you feel, and I respect that as well, because going back to what Grump said, the communication has been lost. You know what I'm saying? And it has become a they instead of us and you. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is, like, now we got this acronym being thrown around, ACAB, all cops are bad, right? And I had a conversation with one of my friends today, and I said, And he was like, yeah, I hit him up on the DM and I said, bro, you got me as a brother. We break bread together. We spend time. We grew up together. You know me before I was a cop. When you make that statement, it's like spitting in my face because you know I'm not a bad cop. You know me personally. We have
Can I interject when you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you say you're not a bad cop, and that may be true. And my father was a police officer, and I didn't really see him as a bad police officer. I didn't know what he did when he was on the street. But when you see instances like this one, where this young man was killed in a blatant, and it was deliberate, and the other officers stood around and didn't do anything, knowing that this type of action was going to take this man's life. They stood by and didn't do anything, you know? And if you have good cops out there allowing bad cops to continue to do the things that they do, how do we make this work? Because like in my occupation, I'm a chef, you know? And if someone beside me is cooking something that's improper, and I'm about to send that out to someone, and it all falls on all of us, I have to let him know, look, my brother, you're not doing this properly. Why don't police officers also do the same thing? That blue wall needs to
I got you. And that's a very common question that people ask. And I'm gonna tell you this: I cannot speak on the actions of another human being and the way they conduct themselves in uniform. I know for a fact if I was there, my brother's a fireman, right? You a fireman, bro, right?
Yes, sir.
Respect to the fireman, right? You know you might have to go in a fire, and I've heard stories where some firemen hesitate to go into that fire. You know what I'm saying?
Oh hell yeah!
But you can't teach bravery. You can't teach morals. People grow those, and people are born with some of those aspects, right? Can we all agree upon that? So I can't teach another man. Yeah. I can't tell you what another man would do and why he didn't do it. I can only tell you what I do and how I feel and what type of cloth I'm cut from. And and when I tell you this, I take pride in being that cop that Grump is talking about, walking around in my community and being able to know people by first name and saying, what's up, Sean? What's up, Jamal? Yo, what's good, man? How you doing, bro? Yo, what's good? Yo. That's how I talk to my community. I don't talk to my community. I meet them where they're at. And that's where we lost sight of truly servicing. It's not only protecting and service, protecting and serving the community. We lost sight of serving. We think a lot of cops think that the badge makes it as to where they serve us. Oh, we're entitled. And I'm just keeping it a buck, man. You know?
That's, you got an S on your chest. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know what, man? It's like a bad apple spoils a whole bunch type of situation. You feel me? Because all people see on the news is this man got killed here, this female got killed here, this man got killed here. They don't highlight the stuff that a person like you might do. You know what I'm saying? And most of the times, those cops get into that type of thing. Maybe the dude that's with them, they probably down with it too. Or the good one, he way across town, they can't stop this dude. Feel me? Yeah. So you're right. You can't look at the good cops all the time and be like, yo, why ain't you there? Why ain't you there? Like we can't be everywhere at one time. You feel me? Like I know, like what he's saying is like if you're in a situation where the cop is overstepping his bounds, like you might be that person that'll snatch him and be like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? But if you're not there, what can you? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, what can you do?
Let me say this.
I just want to say, if a police officer has the knowledge and knows that another officer is doing something that is improper, it is their duty, their civic duty and public duty to inform their superior and let that be rectified. And not just sweep shit under the rug. That's what we need. That's true. Police officers need to be a little bit.
I agree with you. But there's a double standard because the community requires that of us. But what about the inner city where people killing each other, selling each other drugs?
And they don't say nothing.
Old lady, and they don't say nothing. Where's the accountability?
Right.
Where's the accountability?
Hold on. I'm just gonna say it like this. I appreciate you for coming and saying what's going on with you, for being a good officer, but a lot of people that I come across, because we the thin red line, y'all the blue line, and people start saying, what's going on with the blue line of silence? And I'm like, in this atmosphere in the last couple of years, I've been seeing a lot more officers come across the blue line of silence and start chastising bad cops out in public. So I appreciate when people start to do that, because before, I mean, tradition says, you know, I mean, both of my brothers in blue right here, y'all know tradition says we keep everything in house.
That's fact.
Of course.
Everything is coming out, and I'm like this, and I'm appreciating it. That's what I'm saying. When people cross that line, because I get it on social media when I'm like, I'm a firefighter. Oh, because you black and you talking about this. Like, no, right is right and wrong is wrong. And I'm like, we all. It get kind of crazy sometimes, and I can imagine you getting ice grilled. I've been called a sellout, and I'm like, yo, I'm straight from the hood. What the fuck you
That's
talking
crazy.
about?
Why? Because you got a good job? You see what I'm saying?
You already know. It get crazy.
It's a crab in the bucket mentality, man. And the same crab in the bucket mentality, my brother in corrections, you know it, bro. And you know that thin blue line is bullshit, because when a brother's down or a sister's down or somebody's going through something, they don't care about you, bro. You know how it goes. You know what it is.
That's why I appreciate y'all talking, telling us about that. Because
they don't care, man. So that's why, like I said, man, it's incumbent upon the good ones like my brother Nasif and all the other ones that are out here coming together and just sticking together and showing the community together, regardless of the badge, regardless of what patch you wear, showing people the human side. Because listen, I take this off. This is my non-profit chain. This ain't my real chain. I'm sorry, my badge. But I take this off. I'm a human being. I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? That's more valuable to me than this job is going to be gone in another 11 years. I'm done. I still got to answer to my family. I still got to answer to the people that I was serving for 25 years. So the legacy you leave behind is more important. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to address one real quick, because Karev brought up the tradition and how everything came to be. But I know I'm a firefighter in Union County. Ain't too many of us brothers in Union County. You know that. Now I know you said you a minority in the sheriff's department, and I'm like this, you minority in the corrections department. And I know when you first got in, it wasn't too many faces looking like you that was supposed to be looking out for you. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how did you handle that? That's what I want. Because I'm like this. It's like sometimes you gotta put on a whole different face, knowing like I gotta check this person before I get off shift. Then I gotta go back and rely on him to watch my back a little bit later. So how you handle that?
Yeah, no.
I ain't had, like I said, I started in Northern State Prison, been there for 20 years. When I first got there, it was predominantly black.
Okay.
So like it was it was a whole different mindset than what you might know, what you heard from the other jails. I can't speak for other jails. I've been there my whole career. As the years went on, it started to get a little bit more mixed.
But my
you know what I'm saying? But
I got real quick question. Hold up. Did you choose Northern State, or did they send you to Northern State?
I know where he's going.
At the point,
you already know. Like you already know.
I know he's going with this now.
I know where he's going with it. I know where he's going with it.
Sharp James had that thing where if you was a resident of Newark, that's where you went.
Exactly.
That's where you went.
Hold up. That's saying a lot right there, though. That is saying a whole mouthful right there.
No, but you know what? But that's saying, but yo, I actually like that. And actually, why? I'm gonna tell you.
And that's actually a good thing.
That's a good thing. Exactly. That's a great thing because you know the people from that community.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's why that was a good move on his part. You can't. I mean, not that you can't, but you have the demographic there is predominantly African American, Hispanic, and from
at that time,
to implement some type of structure.
Understand each other, because even when I was at Kane and the state troopers were recruiting people, they were saying that there weren't many minority state troopers, and that if I were to get in, they would have put me in a place like Irvington or Newark, because they said that I can quicker understand the community. Because even here, because I live in Queens now in New York City, and even the population, because I live in Corona, which is mostly Hispanics and African Americans. And now here's the thing, but we got we do still have a lot of white cops here. And I can't say I haven't seen any bad encounters or anything bad with the cops here. I'd be lying if I said anything like that. But I know they are recruiting more minority people to come in because you can quicker understand the community. So I understand where you're coming from with that.
And that's appreciated because you got a lot of municipalities saying, nah, we just want certain type of people. We were talking about that earlier.
That's facts. All right, so question, right? What is the proper procedure when you are approached by an aggressive cop? Because it seems that even the hands up doesn't work anymore. So what's the right thing to do when the cop is already extra with his?
I tell everybody, request a supervisor on scene. Request a supervisor on scene. I want to speak to your supervisor. Don't divulge any more information. If they listen, you can get arrested for obstruction. Please don't do that. Obstruction is a very broad charge, man. Hindering the apprehension. Hindering apprehension. So, to give you an example, if I get called to a scene of a I'm just gonna say shoplifting, and I say, yo, you match the description of the shoplifter. This is an investigation. You're being detained, but he's aggressive. He or she is aggressive. I want your supervisor on scene. Please get your supervisor on scene. If they refuse to do that, you know what you do. You follow the protocol. Do not resist. Do not get into a tussle. I do not recommend that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only going to work against you. Request a supervisor. If the officer keeps giving you shit, then you know what? Request someone that's around to request another unit to show up on scene so you have more eyes on what's going on at the moment.
I got to interject. Give me a second, fellas, because I want to ask you this question. With all the problems that we have with what we see from law enforcement, and we can't blame every police officer, but we can point out instances where this is a continuous, consistent thing going on. Do you believe there's systematic racism within law enforcement and in government, period?
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
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 Hold on. You got a bunch of brothers on here right now.
So wait.
We all want to know.
Can y'all see? Give me 1 second.
Christopher Ward.
I want to show y'all something.
What's up,
right. There he goes.
What up, Chris?
How you doing, brother?
What up, man? How you doing?
Has anybody seen this video yet? Do y'all see the screen? You see this? National Security Advisor denies systemic racism in U.S. police forces amid nationwide protests. This is why a lot of people do not believe that these things are going on, because you have high officials within the government that's saying racism is not systemic within our police system. Yet, as I said before, through Project Paperclip and through white becoming a legal term, any beliefs that you have that go against the conventional norm is going to be an outlier. And accepting all people, no matter skin color or anything, is an outlier, because we have so many things in our society that separate us by skin color, ethnicity, religion, race, now gender. Mm-hmm. We have problems, and that is a systemic prejudice, if not a racism. Have you ever, outside of being a professional on the force, have you ever been through something where you saw that oppression touch you personally? And how did you react? How did it make you feel?
I've been, how can I say it? In the law enforcement field, I never felt the racism within the ranks, because like Nas was saying before, there's more Hispanics and there's more Latinos than whites in my department. So I've never, we got a lot of supervisors, a lot of bosses that are in, positions of management. In regards to like being scrutinized and black sheep for certain things and feeling a certain way or speaking up about certain things, you will get that treatment. I mean, Nas knows what I'm talking about. If you kind of go across the grain with what the listen, let's call it what it is, what they want you to do and the way they want you to function, and if you go across the grain or you speak up against somebody, you know what it is. See you later. You know
change
how
your
it
days
goes,
off or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the reason why a lot of good cops don't want to speak up now, listen, social media is a blessing and a curse. It gives people a platform to speak up now. And
Right.
it's exercising your amendments to allow to do so. So it gives cops a platform like myself to express who we really are. Because if you don't have this, the department, a lot of police work is not based off merit. It's based off politics and who you know and what event you buying tickets for. So now this social media stuff, yo, you know, let's keep it real.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't part of that clique, you kind of fall. Why do you think so many cops kill themselves? Because they have nobody to talk to. They have nowhere to turn to. They want to be good. They want to do the right thing. But with doing the right thing, they hit a brick wall and they're like, yo, what the fuck? What am I going to do? And they have
you just asked, what are you going to do? So do you have any suggestions or some type of thoughts that you can input that officers can be able to speak the truth and let these people know what's going on in reference to things like that? How do we fix it?
Well, in the state of New Jersey, I don't know about anywhere else, they started a resiliency program. Nas, I don't know if they got it in your department yet, but there's a resiliency officer that's assigned to every department, and this is because of the spike in the suicides in law enforcement. The resiliency officer, So now they have an officer, but I don't agree with that either, because it's like they assigned a sergeant as our resiliency officer. The problem is Nas is my sergeant, right? Right, Nas, I'm using you as an example because you're in the same field. I go to you, I say, Sergeant Washington, I feel like killing myself, man. I'm messed up in the head. My wife cheated on me. Now you have a duty to notify the department that I just said that. What happens next, brother? They take my gun.
Duty.
For duty.
Unemployment, bro.
Exactly. They take my job. Yeah, they take my gun, no overtime. I stay home. My family suffers. I suffer. So that's why you guys have to understand, these are the reasons why so many cops suffer silently and can't really come out. That's why you see so many cops going on social media now, talking about the George Floyd incident, out the woodworks. Yo, I'm against it. I'm against it. You see what I'm saying?
It's respected. And I'm like, we got the critical incident stress management. It's an outside entity, but at the same time, like you said, you got to notify your supervisor. And when your supervisor finds out, you got to go somewhere, talk to somebody. You got to work for a little bit. And then most people going to fake it to get back on. You going to fake it. Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm straight. Still in the back of your mind, it's like some crazy shit.
You want to sideline pot? It's true. It's a real fact.
And fellas, y'all do realize that we really at the worst of it when the president himself wants this to keep going and believes in this shit to keep going. This is what he wants to bring back. So how do we counteract that shit?
We got to vote and get him out of it.
You know why he wants to keep going, right? He wants to keep going because the minorities are suffering. The minorities won't be able to vote. They're pillaging. They're pillaging. They're burning down their cities. And the only way us minorities make change is in the voting booth, not with guns. You know what I'm saying? So we got to come together and we got to be cognizant of these dumbass tactics that these Republicans use and say, yo, we gotta. That's why I blame a lot of these OGs in the rap game and OGs in the streets, because people pillaging and destroying the community right now. And we up for election for a new president. Guess what? If this keeps going the way they're going, all the people that are far right, they're going to win because they home chilling. They home chilling. We out here burning our city down.
I understand what you're saying, but I've noticed that in a lot of these riots, it's not just the natives. It's also outsiders.
Exactly.
Because I'm not sure if you saw yesterday in New York City, there was a woman that got arrested right away for throwing a cocktail bomb and nearly killed 4 officers, but the 4 officers didn't die.
Yes.
She isn't from 5 boroughs of New York. She's from the Catskills, that woman, and it's a white woman. Here was
now, what is she doing there? Well, in that instance,
I'm not against her coming. I'm not against her coming to the demonstration. That's not my thing. But here's my
Molotov cocktail.
But here's my
instigators. We got instigators coming in.
This is my whole thing. Now, you notice how they brought the charges up on her right away. They said that you're going to get charged with this, and that. And they arrested her, and rightfully so. But how come it took so long for them to bring up charges against the George Floyd police officers? That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just like with the Marbury case or Arbery case. Why did it take so long for them to prosecute those two dudes? Stop them at that father and son thing. You understand? That's just the mentality of America. That's
right. That's what I'm saying.
There's a difference. There's a difference when an officer's involved in criminal activity. There's a difference. There's a process that takes place. It's not only, it's different when a civilian is different because an officer is held to a higher standard. So when an officer gets jammed up, that's the term that we use in law enforcement. When they get jammed up, they face interdepartmental charges and then they face criminal charges. So it's a process. So what they did was right. They fired him, right? They fired him the very same day, I think. They did the right thing. But then once they fired him, because they did their internal investigation quick, they fired him. Now the criminal investigation started. They can't, this is a murder case. So they got to get the proper evidence and they got to present it to the grand jury. The grand jury makes a decision. If a crime was committed, then they make an arrest. It's not like, yo.
Everybody wait. But listen, I want y'all to recognize what he said first, because I've been saying this for years, and I'm glad he proved it once again to me. Police officers operate under a different standard of law. You cannot enforce a law unless you're above the law. It's like a question that we were given back in the day. Like people would ask, can God sin? And the answer will be no. And the reason why is because you have to master something to not fall under it. And that's what a police officer's standard is. The higher standard is they don't do the things that civilians do to get jammed up. But if they do, that's a very serious offense. So you cannot be an officer anymore. Then you come under the jurisdiction of a civilian.
Okay. It's a violation. It's a violation of oath.
Because that was my whole thing. With I tell people that with all of the stuff that's going on with the rioting and the looting on the news and the media, they're only showing you the people of color, right? But I mean, there's all different people in there. When they're from the LA riot back in 92, 91, even in the Baltimore riot a couple years ago, it wasn't just people of color. White, Asian, everybody was burnt. Like in Minneapolis, they was torching the place down, everybody.
That's the news. The news will always doctor up what they want you to see, not what really happens.
Right. And this is my thing. And at the same time, I don't agree with burning down your neighborhood, as I said. I'm not one for it. Absolutely not. But I can understand the frustration. And you got to understand when somebody is angry, they're going to do things they don't mean in the heat of the moment. I ain't trying to make
excuses. You're not thinking logically at that point.
Right.
Once you become angry, you're easily influenced by someone else to do something that is not logical, especially when you've been all this stuff going on.
Just like how I'm sure all you guys have children. I don't. But I'm sure your children have maybe gotten you so mad and you yelled and screamed, and you're like, damn, I shouldn't have done it that way. Because you were angry.
Yeah, but this is a different, but this is, with all due respect, Jamal, and this is just my opinion, I think we're comparing apples and oranges because in this situation, it's like right now, you just made a statement before that people are coming in from out of the city and pillaging a different city that has nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? And also, I want to say, like, apples and oranges because in our own community in the inner city, Jersey City, I'll use Jersey City. I'm from Jersey City area. There's homicides every day. There's homicides every day, almost every. Nah, I'm exaggerating. There's homicides that go unsolved, right? Black on black crime constantly. Where's the uproar? Where's the uproar when the 50-year-old black man that I knew was working on somebody's car in the community and he got shot with a stray bullet? Where's the uproar? Where's everybody pissed off that black man who used to just work on people's cars for a living in the neighborhood got shot and killed with a stray bullet? Where's the uproar? You know
I understand that. I really do understand that. And that is social conditioning, whereas it happens so much where we're from that we're desensitized. So in that instance, we say, you know what? Brother so-and-so was killed. You know, it's so wrong. It's messed up. He's in the ground and we do nothing about it. But something like this happens, and we're going crazy. So
I disagree. There is social outroar. There are people who go out there and fight. But here's the difference: black on black crime is a myth. Now, just like I hate the word minority, we're not going to start using black on black crime because black on black crime is a racist term used to go into the us versus them again. Because let's be real, what is a black on black crime? It's the same crime that goes on in our communities goes on in other communities. Let me tell you how racism works. Black people do they're oversexed, they want drugs, and they kill to get it. How does that not go into anybody else? But that's a designation. Then look, by definition, Hispanic crime is pedophilia, kidnapping, murder, and drug use. That's the definition of Hispanic.
And incession.
Okay. Now check this out. Now look.
Sounding like Donald Trump right now, dog.
Now look.
They were good people. They were good people on both sides.
Now look, white on white crime. If you look at white on white crime, that's murder, theft,
mass shootings,
corporate crime, white and blue collar. You have mass shootings, and you have suicide, which is now going up due to the media's influence on other communities. So check this out. When we use terms that are racial or ethnic when it comes to crime, not only are we separating crime, we're making people criminals that are not criminals. Because guess what? I was talking to my brother, Mr. Ward, down there yesterday. How many of y'all watch Lifetime? Not many men watch that. But look, those stories are based on real people and real events. And guess what? That's white on white crime for your ass. So what you think about
that? Yo, that's dope.
Oh that's dope. I wasn't
ready. Can I ask you? People use these terms, and usually, for the most part, this is why when I hear people say they're scared to go into certain neighborhoods, even myself, I'm not living in New York now, and I'm seeing the gentrification and how neighborhoods have changed. Yes. Back in the day, when you went through Bedford-Stuyvesant and Brooklyn, the only time you saw the Caucasians were these reasons. They were either school teachers, policemen, firemen, EMT workers that were looking to score dope. Now, I had a conversation the other day with a white person. I met on the train. We were just talking, and he was like, "Y'all scared to go to Bed-Stuy. They might do something to me." White guy. I told him, "You got a better chance of surviving in this neighborhood than I do, because we don't know you and know who you are. And God forbid somebody does something to you, they're gonna make sure and find who done did it. Just like with the Central Park Five, it made sure they had to find out who that white girl was and who done did it. You understand what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
But yeah.
The recent one with the white girl that got killed at the college a few months ago.
Yes, in Colombia. Yes. They made sure they're gonna find out who done did it. They're gonna make sure.
Real quick.
And Colombia is right up there in Harlem, up on the west side. So they're gonna make sure we don't find out who done did it.
No, but the crazy shit is what you just said right there. One of my coworkers is like, "Yo, I can't hang out with you in the hood." I'm like, "Motherfucker, you better than me in the hood." They see you
exactly. This is what I'm saying. Because they don't know you. And God
That's sad. That's sad, though, bro. That's sad, man.
What I'm trying to say. And when people commit crimes and murders, it's near them, in a radius near them. So usually, this is where the quote black on black crime comes from, because I'm not, and again, I'm not advocating murder by no means or crime. But you got to understand where these things come from. But yes.
It's also the mentality, man. We got to change our mentality. It's hard as hell to change people who's stuck in their ways and stuck in their myths and, things of that nature. And speaking of the law thing, the law was put in place to cause fear, right? But now the fear is retarded right now. It's like they want us to be scared to death. But once again, if we police our own fucking community, then we control what happens in our community.
But the sad thing is, even when we had our own police force, we had our own banks, we had our own supermarkets, we heard about Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street.
We heard about Philadelphia.
They're going to sabotage it. Yeah, you're right.
And that's my point. Rosewood, like I said, that's the us versus the mentality that they believe. So now that we've talked about the plight of the police officer, the people in law enforcement, and the community, what do you think is hip hop's responsibility to either aiding or helping people come out of what we're going through today?
Bro, hip hop is huge, man. Because hip hop is an intricate part of this culture that we live in, man. Hip hop is the inner city. Hip hop is the Yeah, hip hop is the struggle. So when you see, you know, it's crazy. You get a whole generation of kids to follow you just because you a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Hence the whole, you know, drill music wave and, you know, things that were happening in Chicago where the murder rates went up after Chief Keef came out. But I think hip hop, and that's why me as a hip hop artist too, I use it as a conduit for the kids. Because kids don't see me as, oh, that's a Puerto Rican dude that's a cop. Oh, he cool. No, once I tell them, yo, he rap, they be like, oh, okay, yeah, we can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's what hip hop is so powerful. The problem with hip hop is one of the only genres that really has a serious crab in the bucket mentality. Because you don't hear about country singers killing each other. You don't hear about EDM artists killing each other.
Where, you know, Smokey Robinson wasn't trying to kill
battle each other.
somebody else.
They would work with each other, exactly.
That's it. It's like it's unified.
So with that said, like with the movement of self-destruction, or when artists came together and made songs that impacted the community in a way that was positive, they gave them the insight to do what was right. I think artists have the responsibility to make the type of music to make people think and to also teach people. Yeah, we want to be
Here's what I'm saying. I agree. What you're saying is exactly what I was thinking.
The most important thing in your music is to make music that people not only understand but can learn from. That's what I really think.
I agree. I agree.
And that's why. And that's why I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's why the other day on Facebook, this is how Karev commented on my post, in which I said, where are the more conscious rappers at? And this is the time, like brothers like Poor Righteous Teachers, King Son, ARS-One. Where are all of these people, Lakeem Shabazz, the people who are really dropping tools of knowledge, Queen Latifah? Now you're not saying that. Then somebody had the nerve to comment and say, well, it lives in the underground. I'm like, that's cool. But I'm talking about on a mainstream level. You're not seeing nobody standing out and saying nothing, which I think is kind of what the police officers saying about how we're talking about the officers killing the residents, but we're about the black on black crime who's talking about those things. And this is what I think is the issue. It's like it's not on a mainstream scale or level. It's like we just like, and this goes back into something else again. Like I think it was last year at the BET Awards when Eminem spoke out about Trump and about the black on black crime, whatever. People want to say, why did it take the white man to say something? But no other rappers were saying.
The thing is,
nobody else said anything.
No, David Banner said something, and Joey Badass. They didn't even back him up. Yeah, and that's the thing. When Joey Badass and David Banner came out with Godbox, Joey Badass came out with American Badass. What was that? I feel so decimated or whatever. It was on the charts for like a good month. Then it faded away. And then I'm on Instagram earlier. He said verbatim, I threw away my career for my people. Now look at y'all again. So I feel it's like a lot of hip hop artists are now choosing commerce over consciousness.
Wait. Let me jump in. You know the reason why a lot of people don't do positive music? We got to thank Russell Simmons for that. And this is what I mean. Please understand me. Y'all remember the Human Education Against Lies movement?
Against Lies, yeah.
That was hot, right? You know, Big Daddy Kane, LL Cool J, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, Eric KRS-One, everybody came together. When it was time to shoot the video, Russell Simmons told LL Cool J not to go because that's bad for his look. Being a conscious rapper is not what ladies or people want when they buy your music. So because hip hoppers today chase a dead industry, they're still looking for people to tell them what's the right thing to do instead of doing the right thing, period. And Razzcast, wait. Razzcast said this perfectly. He said hip hop is this. Jews run hip hop. A lot of niggas run around in hip hop. And what it is that people are looking for somebody to take care of them instead of making the movement theirs. We could talk about Kendrick Lamar. We could talk about J. Cole. We could talk about all that. But here's the thing that I really want us to focus on. Social media is more powerful than your song. So if you're on social media, do you really need to drop a song or do you need to be a presence in society? What do you think?
That's true.
Takashi. All you gotta do be a big troll and everybody be on you.
Be a snitch. Yo, and if you're thinking about snitching, come holler at me. I got you. I'll put you on the payroll.
I'll tell you this. What's up? What's up, fellas? What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on,
man?
Hey, Karev hit a point. It's all about growing your audience. Let me just talk a little bit about that. Growing your audience is the most important thing that we can do right now to teach our young black and brown brothers on why that's important. Because globalization, right? Your finances should start looking at globalization instead of the local finances and building your worth there. If you go over right now, you can go to the Philippines right now, and if you had $1,000, you can build your own business from bottom up, have enough workers to create generational change for your family. But that's not taught to you, right? That's not taught to people like us.
Okay.
So what's important, why social media is so important is you can find your ideal audience. The rule goes, if you got 1,000 loyal followers, you can be a six-figure a person just like that. You can change your whole financial aspect of what you do. How do I know this? I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Jersey. I grew up in Marcy Projects. My mom was a single mom. We moved over here to New Jersey. I saw the suburban life versus the inner so-called city life. And I saw the differences on how you can come to the suburbs and be of different color and make mistakes and learn the game. And then eventually, by the time you become an adult, you know how to make that wealth. You know how to build your family. You know how to navigate the system. Someone like us, someone like y'all, right? We make a mistake. We don't get a second chance.
No, see?
Right? We don't get a second chance. So social media has balance, actually has changed the game, because now what? Now I don't even look to talk to people here in the States. I got an entire audience in the Philippines and Japan right now. My podcast is in 16 different countries right now. They just flew me out there to the Philippines to talk to the national security about how to be a better leader in the community. Now you tell me, how can a black man you never heard of from the States gets flown out to the Philippines to go speak to the national police about leadership? Because it's all about growing your audience. What we need to teach our brothers and sisters right now is how to do that from the comfort of their phone. You don't need to go out and do the same thing over and over. You don't need to chase the carrot like we used to. Technology has changed the game. So when we learn that there's 3 major corporations right now that's giving us clues to where this type of currency is going. Facebook owns Instagram, right? We know that. Who owns LinkedIn?
No idea.
No idea.
How come we don't know who owns LinkedIn? Microsoft owns LinkedIn.
Bill Gates.
So
LinkedIn is behind our vaccinations. Okay.
So check this out. Owns LinkedIn, right? And who owns YouTube?
Google, right?
Google. You have 3 of the major corporations all looking for data and growing creators and audience. Why are they doing that and not selling to us? Why are they giving this platform to us for free instead of selling their tools and services to us? Why? Think about it.
Because they're getting
landing pages and we're building their thing for them.
They're taking our audiences, our creation of what we're putting out there. They're taking our audiences and they're putting them in one place so that the market, they corner the market now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So instead of allowing them to do that, if we just teach each other how to develop our own audience, like I said, you only need 1,000. You don't need 100,000 followers. All you need is 1,000 people that believe in your mission, believe in your vision, right? Have the same values and morals, on point with the goals. Man, I'm telling you right now, I grew up, my mom's a single mom, right? I grew up my single mom, and I got my son right here. Come here. My son Jordan is 5 years old, right?
So my
Say
brother,
what's up, Jordan? Say what's up. Right?
Hey.
My son Jordan is 5 years old. Do you know what he was able to see at 5 years old? He was able to get on a plane with me, go ahead and exchange currency, US dollars for pesos as well as Japanese yen, because we went to Japan too. We went over there and he got to see his father speak in front of 60 government officials about leadership. Now, what do you think that does to his mindset now that he's 5 years old? What do you think that does to his mindset when he hears?
That's amazing, bro. That's empowering.
That's what I wanted.
That's
You planted a
empowering.
seed, and that's what's up.
That's all I'm thinking about right now. So when I see the outrage that's going on right now, and that brother Floyd had to be sacrificed for people to really start having this conversation. Yes, we're angry. Yes, we're mad. We're frustrated, but we got to stay focused. We got to stay focused. We got to continue to build our audience, right? If they don't like us, they don't want us, it's okay. It's fine. Guess what? We just talked about hip hop. We just talked about hip hop being the most influential, most imitated music culture in the entire world.
Daddy?
Right?
I'm Daddy.
Hold on, bud. In the entire world.
Wait, I want to post. I want.
That's what it's all about. Having your
So I say that to y'all. I don't really say much because Karev know me. I don't really talk much. I try to back it up with my words and my action. I mean, I don't talk much, but I just want to let y'all know, man, what y'all doing right now is important. It's so important that y'all having this conversation right now. That y'all really, man, even you got cops on here. I think that's cool, man. Like they need to see the other side of things, man.
I applaud you, my brother. Word up,
this
real.
is big
in the community and doing what you're doing.
It's about
still
us
being linked to hip hop. Because you, as an officer, you can teach the other officers or show them that you don't have to be disconnected. You know, we could all be one. It's real. I really applaud you for
that's big, man. That's big. And you know,
that's real.
And you know what's crazy about that? Now I know I'm putting this part of my goals now. Now I got to find out how I need to support my black and brown brothers who are cops now. I got to find out how I need to support them now, because they hear that people don't have a place to be heard, to be valued.
Yeah, that's hard.
Come on, man. You telling me you got to watch out for what's in the streets, and then you got to watch out for the system at the same time, and you can't express yourself? Come on, man. What human being is meant to do that?
That's wrong.
That's just my piece, man.
Yo, you know how it's a real fact. That's what we go through, and you nailed it, bro. There's no outlet. There's no real outlet for law enforcement, for the good cops. The bad cops are gonna get it how they get it. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do whatever. They're gonna kiss ass. They're gonna, do whatever politicians or whatever certain people ask them to do. They're gonna go with the grain. But the minute you go against the grain, bro, it's a wrap for you, bro. And it could be a wrap for you 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. It's hard because you gotta feed your family. You got morals. You got, you want to do the right thing you want to do the right thing, but at the same time, I got my daughters here, same thing. I got to feed my kids, man. And it's like they put you in a corner, like you said, man. Like with all these businesses cornering the market, that's what they do with certain officers, man, and until they lose it,
Yeah. Wow.
I want to jump in and say this though. Hip hop is powerful enough to have a message. Now, me and Mr. Ward, we are like I said, we're Bible believers, and so is Jarnel, and we go hard on it. I don't know about everybody else, and I don't want to not give you a shout out if you really live your faith, not your religion, your faith. And one question that I talk to them about when it comes to being real about yourself is living your truth and being truthful. Hip hop is the leading thing because we are the sauciest people on the planet. Everybody wants a taste of what we got because we do it so well. And understand that we have to not only police those who do things wrong, but we also have to police our message. Right. I want you to know, how did y'all feel? I want to know two things before we finish and everything. I want to know, for one, how did y'all feel about Lil Wayne's and Shameik Moore's statement? And if you don't know what they are, Shameik Moore said the George Floyd and the outrage thing is not about racism. That racism isn't a problem. We're making it a problem because we're the cause of all this stuff. Shameik Moore said if Rosa Parks had an issue with taking the bus, she should have took a cab. She shouldn't have did all that. And Lil Wayne said that white cops are not the problem, and we can't make problems bigger than what they are. That we have to start looking at how we act, and that's what's going to change the cops' perception of us. How do you feel about that?
To an extent, I understand what Lil Wayne was trying to say. Maybe it came out wrong. And what I mean by this is that a lot of times, and I'm sure you gentlemen that are in law enforcement have faced and have seen it, where sometimes you're going to meet an aggressive audience and people are going to come, and you guys could be, so as the gentleman said, there are some good officers out there. And then as he said, some guys, they might try to resist arrest and do obstruction of justice. So again, I didn't hear Lil Wayne. I heard about Lil Wayne's statement, but I myself didn't hear it. So maybe he was trying to say is that we got to also looking at our own faults as well. We can't just say the blame is on them.
Bro,
maybe that's
if
one
you
way.
didn't hear it, we can't talk about it then. Because I want you to have clear understanding of what he said. Because then we're going to give opinions of what we think he said. I need you to hear how he said verbatim how racism is not the issue. The issue is us. And police look at us a certain way because of how we act, not because they can have problems with us first.
I'm sorry, did somebody want to say something first? My bad.
No, I just was going to say that racism existed way before the police organization was established. So this is a deep-rooted American problem, okay? And this is not going to stop unless those who oppress and those who are aggressive towards Black people have and change their mindset. Yes, Black Americans, we do contribute to crime, and we do contribute to a lot of things that are wrong in America, but I think that this stems back to us being mistreated in the first place. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
Agreed.
I disagree a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you why. I disagree. I like what you say, but I hate the fact that my brothers and sisters, and when I say that brothers and sisters, I mean my brothers and sisters that are Black, they go back to the fact of, you know, since we were victims, they go back to kind of like being victims constantly, victimizing themselves. I feel like we got to get above that. And I understand you guys do deal with situations. I understand that. There is prejudice, there is racism that you guys deal with that I can't understand because of my skin tone. I understand that, and I'm sensitive to that. But I can't agree with living in America. The opportunities are there for Blacks just like everybody else. They are. They might not be as prevalent when you're living in the inner city, but they are there, man. They are there. If you don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Listen, yeah.
I believe that firmly. We all do have the opportunity to make ourselves better, and that's what America is about. But systematically, throughout the years, we've not been given those opportunities, and they've been taken away from us. So, just like our leaders. So, I mean, you can be able to navigate throughout this system and become successful, but you have to have that mind state. Just like my brother said, what you're exposed to and what you're taught has a lot to do with how you move forward and how you succeed in life. So,
Karev, I'm gonna address what you said because I didn't hear the Lil Wayne statement, but I think I don't want to, because I know you want people to listen to it before they speak on it. But I think I could understand what he was trying to say, reading between the lines from the way you stated it. I think, and from my experience working patrol, and it's a sad truth. If I drive through Ocean Avenue in Jersey City, right?
That's different.
Ocean Avenue is the hood, right? Is the hood.
That's rough.
If I drive through Ocean Avenue at this time, right? I'm gonna be serious. It's sad to say, it's guaranteed on certain blocks. I'm gonna name Bidwell, Stegman. Is known to be gang and drugs, and the people that are doing it are Blacks. Okay. Listen, wait, let me finish. And if I drive through that area or I drive around, and it's unfortunate because I've let a lot of people go, a lot of minorities, because I'm big on not giving tickets because nowadays it ruins your life. Giving a citation for a traffic violation ruins your life nowadays, because nowadays they dig so deep in your background that if you got a traffic violation and you're Black and this guy's a white kid and might have had the same violation, but I'm understanding. I'm cognizant that they most likely are going to get that job just because you got that small blemish on your record. I'm just keeping it a buck. But what I'm saying is if I drive through the neighborhood and I see 9 out of 10, and this is serious, I'm being serious, cars got no registration, the driver suspended, and these are giving the cops fuel to stop you, to create scenarios where it becomes a situation that it don't need to be. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's my point. What I was trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say.
If your shit is correct, Jamal, you're right. If your shit is correct, this is what I'm gonna tell you guys this, and please.
Listen.
Okay, Jarnel, go ahead.
I was gonna say like this. I understand somewhat what Lil Wayne is saying, and I had a similar conversation with some people on 16th Street in North. And the thing is, brothers with suits coming from church get pulled over too and violated. That's the whole thing. So I get the whole I get the whole perception thing. Like I'm telling people you got to change up how the cops perceive us, but at the same time, you still see what's that? The Wendell who played Bunk on The Wire. He gets pulled over in Louisiana, and they charge on him. Yeah, and he was dressed nice. So and he was driving down the highway. So I mean, I think it's on both sides of the fence. Like I could say my law enforcement brothers can say some of their brethren could be trained a whole lot better and be a little bit more sympathetic. And at the same time, I seen brothers and sisters, black, brown, I mean, get in cops' faces and like, oh yeah, and I'm like, that's not how you handle the situation.
And that's what I think a lot of
it's a two-step. Yeah.
I think it's on both sides. And it goes back into, as Grump said earlier, about community involvement, how we interact, all of that stuff. And that's really what it all stems from. So to a point, again, I can only go from what Karev is telling me, which I'm going to look up what Lil Wayne said. And my whole thing from what Karev is saying, from what Lil Wayne says, I kind of could understand how it could get twisted and misinterpreted. But again, I'm going to hear it for myself. I can only go from what he's telling me. And so, what I'm trying to say is, and this is what a lot of people have to understand, sometimes some cops, as you said, could really be like, sir, what's going on here, ma'am? I just come to see. And then sometimes we do give an attitude, like, what the hell you bothering me for? And then it could start a thing. So it's going on both sides of it. It's just sometimes you said, here's your stuff. What do you want to see? Boom. All right. It should be the end of it. But then sometimes, and this is in like life in general, you know?
Unfortunately, this is the things that were, unfortunately, this is the thing that's the problem though, is that, I don't know if you've seen it today, a new video just got posted of a young man of color walking down the street and a whole bunch of Caucasian men jumped him and sicked the dog on him and jumped him in the middle of the street.
I saw that.
Nobody helped him. And this, I'm not saying that's because of this or because of that. I'm just saying America is bred on violence. America is bred from the stealing of this country to systematic racism to keeping a social class divided. Y'all, I mean, do y'all understand how serious it is when you fill out a job thing and it says Black, African descent, Hispanic, white, Hispanic, non-white, white, Pacific, or other? I'm pitting white all day.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna put my business down a little bit. Remember I told you,
I can't do that.
I'm in the process of buying a house. OJ this. I'm in the process of buying a house. The thing said Black, white, other, this and the third, but they ain't let me say African American, so I put other. Next page. Do you identify as this? It was like Pacific Islander. No. Hispanic. No. I got love for all of them. Next thing, I start filling in the blank. Next day, somebody comes to the loan office. So what are you? A human fucking being?
You try to make sure you ain't no radical.
Even like certain job applications, and I'm like, everybody on here can relate. Law enforcement, y'all, they already know. They see your name spelled a certain way, so they already like, okay, when you walk into the interview, you got to be on your best. Like, let me put on my best voice. Okay, yes. So how do you feel about this? Well, you know, sir, I was like this and a third. And it's weird because they say they want a certain type of person, but in theory, they want us to be more robotic. And it's sad to say.
And more certitude.
Yeah. And I'm like this. He's talking to his brothers in blue. When you get, it's like two different tiers. To get in, when you in there, it's a whole different ball game. To get in the door first, it's like, okay, let me do this and the third. Because the background checks they do, I mean in Jersey. Because in different states, they don't do a lot of background checks. And that's when people are thinking, we up here in Jersey having this conversation on the Northeast. Down south, they don't have civil service. You can go and fill an application, and if you know somebody, he vouch for you, you win. We go do an extensive background check. And one thing I'm like, Jersey is bad enough. We can all say that, but at least we can say they got through the background check. They had to go through something to get in the door. Now you go in different places, it's like, oh, okay, he knows such and such. That's his brother-in-law, or that's his daddy. Like, It's crazy.
I think they even check your social media now too.
Oh, they check everything.
A lot of jobs.
My social media is always my whole fire department. All the captains know when I post up and I post it up.
We are in the business of alerting the hip hop that there's more to us than just beats and rhymes. There's intellectual men and women who are wanted on this conversation that are part of our hip hop culture. And as a culture, we need to be insightful and talk. That you too young stuff, that shit gotta stop, yo.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Before we close out, before we close out, I want everybody to reintroduce themselves, talk about anything that they're doing in the community, so then we could close out on a high note.
All right.
First off, my name is The Black Diamond. How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Mostly being that I cook for a living, and you know, I more or less handle food. The way I contribute to the community is try to feed the homeless and assist those who need food and help with their living conditions as far as like edibles are concerned. So, you know, more or less that's what me and my family are geared towards, helping the homeless and feeding the community. I think that's
Where's my beef ribs with gravy, Black Diamond? You've been promising my beef ribs with gravy.
When we get back, man, I got you. You're ready. I got you, man. I got you. Without a doubt. Okay. But yeah, that's how we more or less help the homeless and help feed the community, man. So
that's what's up.
Bro, I'm gonna let you tomorrow.
All right, no doubt.
Coming over tomorrow.
All right, that'll work. But while I'm talking, it's the grumpy old man, the mayor of hip hop. That's just facts. Also one half of Save the Kids Village. That's facts. Also station manager and host of Grumpy's World on A Squad Rubber Radio. That's just facts. Also international A&R and USA A&R, CIMG. That's just facts. And I've been in this community in hip hop, just doing what I do, helping everybody, and always in the mix of everything. That's how I do it. I'm the Mum-Ra of hip hop. Facts.
He said Mum-Ra.
Man said I'm the Mum-Ra.
Yep.
The ever living.
Yep. And this is Anthony Chin, All Mental. I do the radio show on H Squad River Radio, Instagram the show every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. All the underground hip hop, all the new hip hop. The Black Diamond's been a guest on the show. Come by, police officer. You rap?
I'll be there, bro.
I gotta come on that one.
I'm a hip hop historian, and I just love being in the community and being around good people. And just you'll catch me at every hip hop show. Black Diamond can tell you, and Grumpy can tell you I'm at every hip hop show. And Karev can tell you that as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yo, everybody, since he mentioned the cop, it's your boy Bookem, man. You can check me out on Instagram, Bookem_382. I also have a nonprofit called the Bridges Project, which is predicated on teaching the inner city kids how to use hip hop as a tool of positivity. You know, I work for the police department in New Jersey, and you know that's basically what I do.
Yeah, that's the edit point right
there. Karev gonna be up all night like these.
He said I was supposed to drop it tonight, but I'm gonna have to wait another week.
Oh man!
Well, you gonna cut this for like 2 weeks here, man.
I see. You want to put yours? You said yours. You said yours.
Oh, me? Nah. You turn right on that. Ain't working. But all right, man. Look, this is Nasif, man. Nasif Facebook page, Nasif Washington. Correction officer, 20 years. From time to time, me and my partner, we do a thing called Uncle Al's Words of Wisdom. You know, it's COVID thing right now, so we ain't had time to. So That's what we do. Basically, work home, raise my kids, and I'll be posting stuff up on my YouTube page, NAZ524, if you want to see the Uncle Al video. So that's just me.
All right.
Yo, can I put something out there real quick? My bad, fellas. Real quick, because I got to go. I do videos. I got video equipment. So if any of you guys want to do something collab, bro, I'm not charging. I just want to build my resume. Let's do something positive and put it on film and put it on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, I got
something for you ASAP.
All right, good.
Word.
I got you ASAP.
All right, Chris, you wanna do yours?
Word.
Yeah, I got you, man. I appreciate you even let me on this amazing panel. Brothers doing your thing, man. So Instagram at Chris Ward Jr. Everybody knows my podcast, the Breakthrough Mentor Podcast.
Wow, that's awesome.
International leadership and life strategist, and I help a lot of coaches and creatives create their brand through their own story. That's one of the things that has changed my life. And so for all my brothers out there, all my sisters out there that want to really make that impact, not just financially, but have more influence, which is very important in this day and age, you got to know your story so that you can change the narrative and own the chapters of every part of your book. So, and I'm not talking about physical book. All right. So, yeah, that's what we do. And then for the community, I'm always helping out. A lot of the young cats come to me and they always ask, how can I do this, or how can I do that? How can I expand my portfolio? And I always tell them to think globally. So a lot of the focus that I have on with the younger generation is stop thinking so locally. We need to think globally, because out there, we are far more accepted out there than we are at home. So,
and that's sad, but that's true.
Hey, listen, some of my favorite hip hop groups, Camp Low has made a living outside the U.S. You know what I mean? Like, they made a living outside the U.S. and never had to worry about some of the issues that artists are going through right now. So that's what I do. And so I don't just tell them it, but I show them. So when they see me go fly out, I make sure I document everything I do so that they have that as lessons learned that you're not going to find in the college. So that's what we do.
Right.
Peace and love, y'all. I appreciate y'all, man.
All right, so before we close,
you too, man. That's awesome work.
So before we close out, it's time for time.
I ain't close out.
Who's that?
Jarnel.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
All right. I was gonna say it's Jarnel Williams, aka Firefighter Williams from Hillside Fire Department, 9 years. Used to be a rapper. Some people say I'm on hiatus because I write a verse so now and then. One of the founding members of the Natural Disasters rap group out of Rutgers, New Brunswick, and this is father and trying to do good for my family, just like the rest of us.
God bless, man.
Word. So before we close out, shameless plugs before we do our final. Everybody that like what they seen, please, you can support us all by following us on social media, and you can follow Heritage Hip Hop. Here is heritagehiphop.com. This is the Mic Council, and this episode will appear right at the top of your screen right here. And if you follow our website, we have podcasts with some of your new future favorite artists that you may have not met yet. Artists like Copyright, Notes 82, Jesse Spartano, and we have veterans as well. Cassidy, Rampage, Yo-Yo, and Razkaz. We also talked to one of my favorite MCs, Billy Daniels. And like I said, we bring the culture to you, because hip hop is a culture. Not only do we support you, the hip hop culture, by giving you interviews, we also break artists. So here's Julius Pimpin of Plainfield, New Jersey. His hit single out right now, Long Spoons, and his mixtape at the Movies with Dilla, which is J Dilla Beats and New Jersey Hip Hop. We cover live shows, as you see right here. We have Truth Behind Bars, where we give the MCs acapella bars, so we don't believe in mumble rap. We want you to be able to hear the articulation and the skill of an MC. We are partnered with Fatty's Place, who is celebrating the women of our music culture. We carry music videos. That's Jay Wonder right there, another New Jersey hip hop artist. And we have for our members, if you join our website, a members only incentive, which is the Heritage Hip Hop Playlist 3. Playlist 4 is coming soon. Membership is free. We celebrate Blurred Hop, which is anime, comic book, and cartoon culture within hip hop, as you see DMC in the picture below. Our gallery is of artists that we interviewed, took pictures of. We have vlogs, that talk about our hip hop culture. We have Versus, which is not for people who don't only rap, but people who want to give you messages, mixtapes, and more. If you would like to support Heritage Hip Hop, you can buy our apparel. We have the Heritage Hip Hop store. We also are sponsored with customized art, New Jersey Black Print, and Grifty Apparel. So if ever you want to go purchase or support Heritage Hip Hop, you can go to our store on www.storefrontier.com/Heritage Hip Hop. And here are our t-shirts and our face masks, hoodies, and more. Everything that you give to us, whether you donate or purchase, goes towards the building of this platform and the commitment of keeping hip hop alive by giving the people what they want, and that is real representation and a culture that represents them correctly. So for everybody out there from Heritage Hip Hop and all our guests, we say peace and we out.
Peace.
One love, man.
One love. Peace.
All right, man. Salute y'all, bro.
Everybody stay safe.
One love.
All right, man.
Peace, y'all. One love.